Okay, good morning everybody. My name is Ryuken from 9Bil-2, and today I'm going to tell you a story for the morning literacy session. The story is called The Tale of the Three Apples, and it's taken from 1000 Night Stories. Let's start. The beginning of the story starts with Caliph Harun al-Rashid summoning his Wazir Ja'far and tells him he wants to question the common folk. They meet an old man with a fishing net lamenting over something. The Caliph wants to help him and says he will give the man 100 gold pieces. But during his next catch, the Caliph will get what's in the net. It turns out to be a heavy chest. Its contents are palm leaves, a carpet, a woman's mantilla, and a woman cut in 19 pieces. The Caliph demands the murderer to be found, and when Ja'far gets the assignment to find the murderer within 3 days, he cannot fulfill the task because he can never be certain who is the murderer. After 3 days, the Caliph commands Ja'far to be hanged with 40 of his family and companions for not obeying his orders. However, when Ja'far is about to be hanged, a young and an old man claim both they are one of the murderer of the ladies. When brought before the Caliph, they still claim either one of them is the murderer, but the younger man gives details of the contents of the chest, and the Caliph asks the story behind it. He tells the Caliph that the woman was his wife, and one day she fell ill and she asked for an apple. The man could not find any apples, although he was willing to pay a high sum for them. Then he was informed that the commander of the faithful at Basora has apples in his garden. He traveled for 15 days to get them and brought 3 apples to his wife. She had grown weaker, unfortunately, and could not eat the apples. Sometime later, the man saw an ugly slave with an apple, and he asked how he got it. The slave told him he got it from his mistress, who told him her husband had brought them. Upon hearing this, he cut the throat of his wife, sewed off her head and her limbs in pieces, put it all into a chest, and threw it to the river Tigris. When he went home, he found his son crying. He told his father that he took one of the apples from his mother and went playing. Then a slave came to him and stole his apple. He cried, giving him the details of the story of the apples. Knowing the true content of the slave's story, the man had mourned for the last 5 days. Now he's asking the Caliph to kill him for the unjustly deed. But the Caliph spares his life and asks Ja'far to find the slave, and if he does not find the slave in 3 days again, Ja'far will be killed. Knowing he cannot fulfill this task, Ja'far waits for 3 days, and awaits his fate. However, when he says farewell to his family, he finds an apple with his daughter, who tells him, Rayhan, their slave, sold it to her for 2 dinars. On the apple was written the name of the Caliph. When the slave was summoned, he tells the whole story that he did not steal it from the Caliph's gardens, but from a boy. He then takes the slave to the Caliph and tells him the story of the slave. But Ja'far also says that the story is not as wondrous as the tale of Wazir Nur al-Din Ali of Egypt and his brother Shams al-Din Muhammad. The Caliph asks him to tell the story and will spare his slave if the story is more wondrous than the story of the 3 apples. Thank you. The moral of the story is that we should not assume things, and with that assumption we should not judge others.